What up, this is Rama covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix new series, 42 Days of Darkness. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramashcreen. That's patreon.com/ramashcreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screeners to this entire new show. They've asked me to not spill spoilers, therefore this review is spoiler free. I repeat, there are no spoilers in this video review. Now, this show hails from the country Chile. I don't remember ever having previously reviewed any Netflix show or movie from Chile. Perhaps this is my first one, so to that, let's give ourselves and Netflix Chile a round of applause in hopes that this is the first of many more to come. Salute! 42 Days of Darkness is a gripping, puzzling, emotionally powerful, character-driven crime mystery drama. The concept is not really anything quote-unquote new, obviously, but it's fascinating to see all of it well executed through the perspectives and the culture of Chileans. A lot of the investigative methods are also very grounded and back to basics, so much so that the story could have been set in any bygone era. I think this is a deeply compelling show for those of us fans of characters who are obsessed with digging for the truth. Directed by Claudia Huakimia and Gaspar Antillo, in 42 Days of Darkness, when Veronica disappears, her sister Cecilia starts a race against time to find her whereabouts. In her path, Cecilia will have to fight against the negligence of the institutions, the prejudices of society, and media harassment. Starring Aline Kuppenheim, Claudia Di Girolamo, and Pablo Macaya. Now, 42 Days of Darkness is not based on any book by author Harlan Coben, but it looks and feels like it could have been, seeing that Harlan loves telling stories about missing persons. I mean, that's pretty much his bread and butter, his niche if you will. But 42 Days of Darkness is a self-proclaimed work of fiction inspired by true events. It's about what you put out there for the world to see versus what's really happening when nobody's looking. Specifically in regards to the marital life of a very rich, very influential, very well-connected man whose wife suddenly disappears. Is this another round of incompetent cops in action? Perhaps, but more than that, the cops know that if they do any kind of misstep against that man, then it's their jobs on the chopping block. Now, in comes this regular poor idealist lawyer played by Pablo Macaya, who often drowns himself in his job that he often disappoints his own son. He forms his own team of investigators and immerses himself in the family's life by way of the missing person's sister. The scripts are very solid in terms of comparing how the police conduct their search and how Pablo's character's team conduct theirs. And they're very calculated in knowing when to present all the possible angles, motives, speculations, and counter-arguments. It's not so much as they're trying to mislead you or pour water on your theories, as it is more about pointing out how these cases can sometimes evolve into something more complicated. Meanwhile, the media is forming their own narrative and it's hurting the social life of the missing woman's children. This part of the exploration allows us to understand why the woman's absence is so meaningful and painful to those who love her dearly. As I implied earlier, I enjoyed the setting and the backdrop, and they wonderfully highlight the economic, political, and courtroom intrigue. The way the story weaves in the devil's advocate can at times be a bit overbearing, but I like that they constantly keep us engaged and thinking. Now, I was informed that 42 Days of Darkness features some of the best actors known in Chile, and you know what? It really shows. Especially Pablo, who's very committed at playing this flawed lawyer trying to prove himself. Is 42 Days of Darkness a difficult sell? Yeah, somewhat. Outside of the usual target audiences for stories like this, it's gonna be hard for 42 Days of Darkness to stand out. But for my first Netflix Chile content, I very much enjoyed it, despite it having a pretty uneasy, inconclusive ending.